That is the moment of truth. Both the ancient relics and the people living in this era are the origins of China, of our civilizations. Next door, reporter Lyne Lin talks to Dr. Rainer Volkomer, director of the Liechtenstein National Museum, and curator and columnist Professor Wang Jia, to see how institutions such as the Liechtenstein National Museum are bridging cultures and helping us discover something new in ourselves.
For our International Museums Days discussion, we're now joined by two special guests. We have Dr. Rainer Volkomer. He is joining us from Liechtenstein. He is the director of the Liechtenstein National Museum. Thank you very much for joining us. And we also have Professor Wang Jia. He's a Beijing-based curator and columnist. Thank you very much for joining us as well. As we know, the theme of this year's International Museums Day is the power of museums. And so I have a question for Director Volkomer. In the past, we tend to think of museums as a space of holding antiquities or displaying artifacts, but we know that museums have much more to that. So as a museums director, what have you done to turn museums into a space of promoting education, inspiration, and dialogue?
The most important is we call it storytelling. So not only to show objects like in former times and give only some information, but now to try to make really a story about the object. So to tell much more about it. And by this, you discover more things and you can learn much more about the objects, but also about the culture, about the time, when it was made and other things.
Let me add something based on Director Volkomer's comment, okay? For example, we talk about the Power Museum, right? So if we've been to Florence, right? Florence is like a living museum. You're walking into Florence, you're walking into a part of history. The main idea of Renaissance, the footprint of Medici, Raphael, Michelangelo, all in there. Museum is like a building carries many parts of history of the whole world, of the different nations. So, that carries even more meaning than a city.
Now, speaking about buildings with collections showcasing different parts of world history, I've been told that there's a must-see attraction in Liechtenstein, which is its postal museums. What treasures have you got there? And tell us more about your collections.
We are called the Kingdom of Stamps because you have to imagine all our stamps are made by artists. When the first one was printed in 1912, it was Coloma Moser, and in this tradition, all the stamps of Liechtenstein are done by artists. And therefore, our stamps are considered in the world of one of the best you can see. And very important is we print regularly also together with China very nice friendship stamps and also with the highest quality.
And now I have a question for you, Professor Wang Jia. In 2018, the Liechtenstein National Museum hosted an exhibition showcasing life and wisdom in Chinese culture, and you were responsible for curating the art pieces for that particular exhibition. I'm wondering, given the cultural differences between the two countries, how did you make the event relevant to local visitors? And were there any memorable moments for you while working on that project?
The most memorable moment is the first time I introduced Director Volkomer to Beijing Fine Art Academy. He came to listen to my lecture, and I speak in public lecture in Mandarin, in Chinese. He can't understand the word. I was giving a lecture about Renaissance, the Italian art. And after 2 hours, and he said, I understand. Even though I can't understand Chinese, I understand you. Then we have a separate meeting about what can we do, Of course, Beijing Fine Art Academy, most famous for the Qibaishi collection. But Director Volkomer says he wants more than just the Qibaishi work. It could be a very interesting combination of the collection of the Academy, but introducing the Chinese art. That's how the project started. Our common area is to introduce the Chinese culture, not only the artwork, but also the meanings and the metaphors carried behind the artwork. For example, we brought the 12 zodiac paintings of Qi Baishi. Director Volkamer made a stamp for Qi Baishi's 12 painting for the zodiac. You know, the design is new, the context is new, even the language is new. That's something very special. And we brought some work which carries a cultural meaning behind it. For example, we have some works from Master Guan Liang, who paint specifically on the Peking operas. By using his painting to introduce to the European visitors about the Peking opera, the differences between the opera they knew. And also we got some artworks, for example, like Master Li Keran. There's a painting about how to appreciate painting. So before we bring our artwork to Liechtenstein, we have to switch our ideas.
Mindset, right?
What do they want? So they see the work as, okay, it's a painting. Does it carry a similar meaning with the Western? Or why they paint that way? These are the main priorities we are trying to do for the exhibition.
It's very important to have someone like Professor Wang who knows sort of both sides of the world, so he could really serve as a cultural mediator to help both sides to learn each other. Now, moving forward, what other collaborations can we expect from the Liechtenstein National Museums with cultural institutions in China?
Yes, we are first always very open-minded and sure. I think it's important to get more and more information about different aspects of the culture of China, but also to discover also the different regions. And sure, at the end, the dream would be to have a lot of exhibitions from different museums of China.
Hopefully that dream of yours will come true very soon. And that's all the time we have for today. So thank you, Dr. Volkamer and Professor Wang. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.